With this crown, I declare you our sovereign. All hail the king! I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Receive this crown as a blessing from the Most High. May your reign be just and prosperous. So I asked the angel, and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. With this crown I bestow upon you the legacy of our people. Rule wisely. Now are they crowned, and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. With this crown, I charge you to lead our people with wisdom and strength. All hail the new king. Hail! Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of the Lord thy God thou hast seen. I now crown you king. All hail the new king. Long live the king.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakapadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing this word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into, okay, today, all right, tonight, rather, is going into time to anchor down in doctrine. Okay, and this comes from, the latest, okay, from this guy, Captain Tazariak. All right, and his terrible breakdown of the MOTB. What you're gonna get into it, and play the video. All right, and we're in the time now, we're in the clutch, and you're going into these times confused all over the place. It's gonna go back. Okay, there's no way, that we, all right, will be able to make it through these times if we're not anchored down in sound doctrine. Because our faith, our belief, okay, is based on sound doctrine. Okay, and I can't say it enough. There's no way that you can have faith if you don't know what you believe. Okay, so being confused cancels out faith. Okay, being confused when it comes to the doctrine, because we're given specific instruction when it comes to particular things. Okay, and when it comes to the MOTB, If you don't know what it is, you don't know what to refuse. Okay? If you do not know what the MOTB is, you do not know what to refuse. You do not know what not to submit to. Impossible. Okay? And as we come into, all right, the home stretch of prophecy, okay, where everything is speaking, the prophecies are speaking, the prophecies are screaming at you. Okay, there's no doubt that there's going to be a nuclear war between these nations. There's no doubt. They're screaming right now. There's no doubt that there's going to be Jacob trouble. All right, the way you seen Trump dispatch, ICE, to show you that at any moment he can go full throttle. Okay, there's no doubt that there's going to be a Jacob trouble. He has, you know, put emphasis on what the migrants of the northern tribes, okay, and the criminals of the inner cities, which is northern and southern kingdom. So there's no doubt, okay, that there's going to be a Jacob trouble. They're screaming right now, okay. And what this man is doing, okay, with this DPI, digital public infrastructure, what they have up and running and already operating in China and India and certain parts, Sweden, look into it, okay. Don't take our word for it. Look into everything that's being said yourself. Stop the video and research these things yourself. Okay? But the way that this man is trending with this technology, there's no doubt, all right, that the MOTB, okay, is the RFID microchip. You cannot separate the MOTB from the billions and trillions of dollars that this man is spending on digital infrastructure, from the data centers to the surveillance cameras, okay, to the chip readers at these stores, facial recognition. Okay, there's no way you can separate that. Okay, but as the scriptures say, all right, let's go here, and we're just gonna get into something. I got some videos too. We're gonna play that video, you know, to hear him out. Okay, to hear the cap out. Okay, so let's go here. This is 2 Timothy 3:13. This is an AMP. But evil men and impostors will go from bad to worse. And see, what you have is a lot of guys imposing, all right, as prophets, man. These men are not prophets. Okay, the spirit of your prophecy, all right, the spirit of Yahweh Shah, the spirit of prophecy, man. And you notice, all right, that the more that these men call on Christ, teaching the name of Christ, the less prophetic they are. Okay, they might can cut some Christians, when it comes to salvation. Even with that, they can, sloppy with that. Okay, but when it comes to really getting a thorough understanding of prophecy, man, these guys don't got it. They're imposters, man. Okay, one thing Jake is good at is imitate. The best actors, okay, are Jake. Okay, so Jake is good at imitating, okay, and mimicking the prophets. But these guys are imposters, man, and they're going from bad to worse. Because now with this dumbass, all right, breakdown, okay, the captain, all right, the Zariak is coming with this shit sound horrible, man. He looking dumb as hell. Anybody that's not teaching the MOTB is the RFID microchip is looking dumb as hell, man. Okay, you're gonna look like a complete idiot trying to bring it out. 5 years ago, okay, you get away with certain things. A decade ago, you can kind of you get but now what you coming with the MOTB is seeing right now, 2025, you look like a jackass, man. Okay, there was a time when you can joke and play, and oh, put the chip on your hand, and you see, oh, my dog got the chip. You can play around. It's June. See, there's a time where you can play around. But now Esau is erecting this digital infrastructure. Now he's spending billions on digital infrastructure. You see? So now when you teach that the MOTB is something other than the RFID microchip, you're gonna look like a jackass, man. You're gonna look dumb as hell. Okay, you're gonna sound dumb as hell. And we're gonna play this little, 50-second clip of this guy. Sound dumb as hell, man. Okay, because you can't explain this away. You can't explain away billions and trillions of dollars of infrastructure for a whole new system, okay, of buying and selling, a whole new system of surveillance, okay, that this man is setting up. Okay, you can't explain that way, all right, with them dumbass breakdowns no more. It's not going to work, except on the simple, those that were meant to be deceived. That's why it says, but evil men and impostors will go on from bad to worse, deceiving and being deceived. Okay? So what we're seeing these men going from bad from worse, deceiving many while they're being deceived. Okay? Because in their mind, they're doing the right thing. Because a lot of these men have sold out. So in the mind, they're winning as an individual. They're deceived that it's cool what they're doing. Why they're deceiving many. Okay, and if you're following these men, it's meant for you to follow these men, okay, into that ditch, man. Okay, the elect gonna be, awakened. If there's any elect amongst them, they're gonna be awakened. But the majority of those people that are there, they're meant to be there for judgment, man. Okay, any of these guys, man. And you see, Jake is just wilding out with the doctrine, man. Okay, Jake is wilding, saying and doing any goddamn thing, man. Okay, but we know these things must be so. This is part of prophecy just as much as Jacob Trouble, World War III, all right, and the MOTB, okay, is prophecy. Well, false prophets becoming worse. That's all a part of prophecy. They gotta happen. So these men gotta, all right, be on this path. Men gotta play their part. The Wadi How Bashim Al Shah is not us, man. May it never be us, man. You sincere brothers, man. Okay, 2 Timothy 3:14 said, but as for you, continue in the things that you have learned and of which you are convinced, holding tightly, okay, to the truths, knowing whom you've learned them, knowing from whom you learned them. Okay, so we're going to continue on in the doctrine of the apostles and elders, man, which they got from their elders, man. Okay, things have been fine tuned, but it's the same doctrine, man. Because as the scriptures say, we know in part and prophesy in part. So as prophecy play out real time, things are revealed. But it's a continuation of that same doctrine, man. You know, that we got from those same men. You see, and if you're not rooted right now, the Lord is sifting. And if you're not rooted, you're all over the place. I can't imagine not being rooted, listening to Genesis, and then come right back and listen to Captain Zariak, and then go check out, all right, the Crypt Priest. You're window shopping right now. You're not rooted. You're just here listening to this, man. It's a tornado, man. It's a tornado on the loose, man. Just a hurricane of doctrines, man. All over the place, man. Chaotic. You see? And when you go here, let's get this in the KJV, verse 15. All right. Because as we all came in, as newborn babes. Let's go here. And it says, verse 15, it says, and thou from a child, thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation, man. Okay, there's a doctrine that's making us wise unto salvation. And that's the doctrine we should be rooted in. We should be anchored down. Okay, there's the doctrine that we, should be anchored down in these times, man. Okay, the doctrine of salvation. There's only one doctrine of salvation, man. Okay, there's 100% truth of everything we need to know to be delivered. Okay, and getting the MOTB wrong is a major thing. This ain't no light thing. Jake tried to downplay, all right, having the MOTB wrong like it's something that's debatable. That's not debatable. Okay, that has to be right. You see, ain't no gray area. You can't afford gray areas, man. Okay, you can be wrong, and how tall was King Saul, his exact height. You could be off, a few inches give or take. You see with that, yeah, a foot or two give or take. You see, you could be off with that. Okay, but the MOTB you can't be off. Okay, this is going to be crucial, man, because this is going to be the decision that, okay, in which we're going to be tested. And see, that's the thing too. Jake don't want to deal with the test. Okay, Jake don't want to stand on faith in these times, man. Okay, Jake is trying to make salvation comfortable. No, we finna have to get uncomfortable, man. Okay, and that's what Jake don't want to deal with. It says, and they're from a child that has known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, man. Okay, and Jake don't want to deal with faith. You see, Jake don't want to deal with letting this shit go. But see, as we understand the scriptures, we know we finna get everything. We're not losing nothing. Damn, what the hell with this side, man. We're not losing anything. We finna win. Okay? We understand, hey, we gonna have to get uncomfortable, man. You're not gonna sit here and act like the flesh don't get, anxious and concerned, but then that's when the spirit kicks in. That's when, hey, the will of the Lord, man. Hey, that's when the Lord deals with us, man. It shows that I got you. The Lord is constantly showing the leg, I got you. Just going through certain things, man, through our day to day, man. The Lord is always showing us, I got you. The Lord put us in certain situations just to show that I got you. Okay? So nah, man, the spirit got to outweigh the flesh. Hey, that's why Howard Shah said, what does the flesh? Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. And then we'll get that in Ezekiel. Let's get that in Matthew, man. Matthew 26. Okay. And 41. Okay. Matthew 26 and 41. It says, keep actively watching and praying that you may not come into temptation, man. See, we come into an hour of temptation, we're going to be tried. You see? And the flesh wants the easy way out. The flesh wants a comfortable way out. Even Howard Shah, he asked for another way, but it wasn't no other way. He had to go through it. Now he sits at the right hand of glory, and he's our pioneer, the author of our faith, the pioneer of our faith. He had to do it, had to be done. Okay? So damn the flesh. Of course, the flesh wants to be comfortable. The flesh is, and that's why this doctrine sounds good to the flesh. Because if you say the MOTB is sin, well, that means that you don't have to give up everything when the devil change the system. You just have to keep not eating pork. Keep not celebrating. Okay, Christmas and the holidays. Nah, man, we finna have to risk it all. We finna lose it all, man. Finna get uncomfortable, man. Okay, that's just what it is. Okay, so read this in Matthew 26 and 41. It says, watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. The spirit is willing to go through it, man. Okay, because the spirit is fully persuaded. That's why we got to be in the spirit, man. That's why scripture say, put off that weak nature, those mortal thoughts. Even death, man. Hey, we got to look at death differently, man. You see, the Lord is requiring us to level up, man. This ain't for, that's why I say spiritual maturity is mandatory, man. We got to mature in the spirit. That little shit that Jake still on, man, and that little knick-knack and the shit that they just argue in circles about all day, man. Look, man, we gotta be willing to die for what we believe, man. That's a reality. Okay, we gotta be ready to lose everything. Okay, we gotta be ready to be snatched up for this, man. We gotta be spiritually mature, man, in faith. You see, and the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Okay, the flesh likes to hear this easy way, this, you know, this comfortable way. It ain't there. Okay, we gotta drink of this cup. How shy he had to drink of that cup. Being what? And he's like say he had a moment. Showing go, we have moments, but then, hey, we got to anchor down in the spirit. You see, we have to anchor down in the spirit, man, and be fully persuaded. And if you're confused, no way in hell are you fully persuaded, man. Okay, so let's go to Ezekiel. Okay, and what we finna play with this guy, man. There's no way. All right, if you're following him, you don't know what the MOTB is. Okay, you just there hanging out. Okay, Ezekiel 13:3. I'm gonna get this in the AMP. Let's get this in the AMP. All right, Ezekiel 13:3 and 4. Ezekiel 13:3 said, "Thus said the Lord power, woe, judgment is coming to the foolish prophets who are following their own spirit, claiming to have seen things, but have in fact seen nothing, man." Okay, and this bullshit that he finna speak on, this explanation, okay, of the MOTB, okay, this is foolish, man. Okay, he's just following his own spirit. Okay, the spirit ain't revealed none of this that what he finna say. Okay, this is foolishness, man. Okay, but scripture say, whoa, at least he repent. Okay, destruction, man. Judgment is coming, man. You false prophets, hey, your days are numbered, man. Okay, verse 4 says, "O Israel, your prophets have been like foxes among the ruins." Now you go into it, it says footnote, it said the ancient rabbis said that foxes look in ruins to see where they can escape if they see people coming. So the false prophets only cared about saving themselves. Okay, and these men have these backdoor deals with Esau, thinking that they got some type of safety blanket when Esau rolls. I don't know what they think. Okay, showing you that they're deceived. Because scripture say, well, they're deceived while deceiving many. Because I don't know if they think they got some type of safety package with Esau. But Jake is pushing these doctrines. They done made these deals and they pushing these doctrines as if they're finna be in a good case when this shit go down. Okay, nah, man. You see, the judgment comes from the Lord. Esau was the tool. You made a deal with the axe. You see, we want to be in favor with the one swinging the axe. Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. You made a deal with the axe. Okay? When you see, when the mighty man picks up the sword or the axe or the weapon of choice, okay, guess what? The weapon has no authority. Okay, the authority is the one, okay, that's swinging the weapon, man. Okay, and the Most High finna get ready to swing Esau. Okay, so you niggas have made a deal. Okay, these guys have made a deal with the axe. Okay, and it's gonna go back. Okay, and it says, you have not gone up in the gaps or breaches, nor built the walls around the house of Israel, that it might stand in the battle of the day of the Lord, man. And the battle is gonna be our faith, man. That's gonna be the main battle, man. If we believe, we're finna be tested, and if you're not building, all right, Jacob, with sound doctrine, okay, you see, with sound doctrine in these times, man, they're set up for failure. Because if you're going confused, you have no walls around you, man. You are wide open, man. And Esau gonna come in throwing combos, man. Okay, Esau finna come through throwing combos, man. You're not ready for this battle of faith, man. If you're confused, man. Okay, because Esau finna throw everything at it, man. All signs and lying wonders. He finna bring some things out, man. And the MOTB system is gonna look appealing. It's gonna be alluring, man. It ain't gonna be, Esau gonna dress this thing up, man. Okay, and it's the Lord that's doing this, man. The Lord gonna have Esau have this thing laid out like this. It don't get no better. Okay, scripture say, if so, he shall deceive the very elect. Okay, this man gonna pull out some things, man. Okay, and if you're not sure if this is an MOTB or not, man, hey, you're not rooted, you're not anchored. Okay, so let's go here. I want to get that word anchored as well. But let's go here real quick. Okay, because it says, they have prepared Israel for the day of battle, man. And the main battlefield gonna be faith, man. Okay, so when you go here, what do the scriptures say? Second Ezra, all right, 16:4, it says, "Oh my people, hear my word." And how are you hearing the word? Through the prophets. Okay, make you ready to thy battle. And we all have a battle in the faith that we're gonna have to overcome. Okay, Jacob trouble is gonna test everybody, man. Our temptation is gonna test everybody to see if we believe. Okay, and it's going to be different dynamics. Everybody's not going to have the same battle, but it's going to be a battle of faith. Okay, what one brother might have to sacrifice, the other brother might not have to sacrifice, but it's going to be a sacrifice made. We're going to get uncomfortable. Okay, the particulars of what's what. Okay, that's why I said make ready to die battle. You know, it's going to try everyone, and everyone's going to be tried different. But the common denominator is going to have to be faith, man. Okay, it says in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Okay, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So we gotta get ready, even to be uprooted in these times, man. You see, Jake think they done made these deals and they finna sit on their couch and watch Jacob trouble play out on the flat screen, man. Nah, man. Hey, brothers, hey, we gonna have to move around. Some brothers gonna get snatched up. Okay, but we got to be ready to that battle, man. And we got to move like pilgrims, like this ain't our rest, man. Okay, and this is why, we're not comfortable now. You already have to have these. You already have to count everything is lost in our mind now. We already have to consider betrayal now. Okay, verse 41: He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupy merchandise is he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he shall not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. Okay, so we have to have a mindset of being ready to let this shit go, man. See, when this system is rolled out and this man presents this MOTB, he makes it mandatory. We gonna have to roll, man. We gonna have to be ready to let this shit go. All of it go, man. We gonna be ready to let it go. You see, and this is what Jake don't see. You're not gonna attract the masses, just like Yahweh Shai. A lot of people start following him when he said things that wasn't popular, man. You see, Jake still want to appeal to the masses, man. So this MOTB, being sin or embargo, whatever. Okay, Jake is saying it. See, this still, you know, smooth words. Okay, The masses of Israel like smooth words. But nah, man, we finna get ready to let these things go. We got businesses, cars, houses. We finna have to let this shit go. Okay, this shit ain't ours, man. The Lord just got us in a temporary situation until we get to the next phase, man. Okay, it's finna get uncomfortable. It's just you finna have to, okay, really believe on another level. Finna have to, hey, have the faith to walk on water. It says, "They that marry is they that shall not get no children, and they that marry not is the widowers." Man, hey, we going to another phase, man. Okay, you see, this grace period, there was a time, comfort, you can teach and still kick it, and you have your day to day, your convenience. And it's gonna come a time when it's not gonna be so, man. Okay, there'll come a time where we're gonna really be in the trenches with faith, man. Okay, so let's go from there, and I want to get the definition. Then we go to the video. All right, I got two videos I want to play. So when you go to, just real quick definition, anchor down. You know, because we hear that all the time. Say anchor down, meaning it said anchor down means to stabilize, to secure, or settle in a place or mindset, preventing drift, often by focusing on core values, responsibilities, or a stable location. Okay, which is Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. You see, then say responsibilities. Okay, hey, we have a responsibility, man, to teach the truth, man, teach sound doctrine. Okay, see, the elect is being stabilized in these times, through sound doctrine, through faith. Sound doctrine, they tighten the bolts down on faith, man. Consistent doctrine, man. These men change it up. Okay, IUIC, the MOTB can be anything on any given day with them guys. Okay, but what's anchoring us down is consistent sound doctrine, man, through faith. Okay, so now, man, we got to anchor down in doctrine, man. Okay, which by default is anchoring down our faith, making us rooted in this thing. Okay, so let's go here. I want to let's hear him out. Okay, the and this is from the beloved elder brother, but not the Zakba. All right, GMS South Carolina. All right, oh 08. Subscribe. Be edified. All right, so let's play this. Listen to your man.
Hold on. Like he don't need to put a microchip in our body to control us. He don't need to put a microchip in our body to get us to buy and sell. We're buying and selling everything from him right now.
And see, he comes from an aspect of not dealing with what the prophecy said. I'll listen to the elder brother require quorum out of London. It ain't about what Esau needs to do. It's about what the scriptures say he gonna do. There's a lot of things that Esau does that doesn't make sense that he don't need to do, but the scripture says he's gonna do it. Okay, the way that this man pollutes the earth, all right, that he has to live on, he don't need to do that. He will still have trillions of dollars without doing a lot of shit that this man don't do. He will still be, all right, have all the influence and be, okay, the top nation in the earth. All right, but it ain't about what he need to do. It's about what the Lord wants his ass to do, man. Okay, and that's to bring out that device and make it mandatory, man. Okay, so that logic of what Esau need to do, it's a lot of unnecessary shit that Esau does. All right, as he's running the earth. Okay, but according to prophecy, he does these things. He didn't need to mass produce nuclear weapons. Okay, Esau could have left it a conventional warfare and still dominated these nations, man. Okay, but he mass produced the weapon, and now everybody has it. Why? For the sake of prophecy, man. Okay, Esau didn't have to sell, okay, his military hardware to all these other nations, but he did it. Okay, these nations, all right, have these advanced militaries because Esau is the number one arms dealer. Okay, a terrible idea. You see, he didn't need to do that, but he did it. Why? Because of the sake of prophecy. World War III. Let the weak say I'm strong. Okay, so this whole thing, he don't need that logic of he don't need. Nah, man, you can't use that logic when explaining the MOTB. What do the scriptures say? What's happening real time, man? What is this nigga doing real time and filtered through the scriptures? What do you get out of it, man? Okay, so let's play. Let's run it back. I'm gonna let him play, let him spiel.
Hold on. Like he don't need to put a microchip in our body to control us. He don't need to put a microchip in our body to get us to buy and sell. We're buying and selling everything from him right now because we already have the mark of a beast. We already have it. If he says celebrate this January 20th, everybody's going to celebrate this. If he says vote, everybody's going to vote. If he says don't do this, everybody's not going to do this. If he says love these people and hate these people, we're going to do it. We already marked. You got Deuteronomy 11 and 18?
You know the fuck this nigga talking about, man? Okay, if you try to explain the MOTB without going into what this man is doing real time, the technology that this man is setting up, this infrastructure that he's setting up, you gonna sound like this guy, man, a jackass, man. Okay, what is this guy talking about, man? What sense did he just make? Okay, so if you ask this man what the MOTB is, you already marked. Well, god damn, why are we here? If we already marked, what are we doing, man? Okay, it's like going to the airport to catch a flight, but that flight gone. Ain't no planes at the no, not not that your flight gone. Ain't no planes at the airport. It's like going to an airport with no planes. With his doctrine, if we already marked, what the hell are we doing? Oh boy, oh man, let's play a little more, man. I get you. What nigga? You know, not to call him a nigga, man, but you know, god damn. You know, let's play this, man.
This January 20th, everybody's going to celebrate this because we already have the mark of a beast. We already have it. If he says celebrate this January 20th, everybody's going to celebrate this. If he says vote, everybody's going to vote. If he says don't do this, everybody's not going to do this. If he says love these people and hate these people, we're going to do it. We already marked. You got Deuteronomy 11 and 18?
Yeah, if you following that, you don't have a clue what's going on. You know, you don't know what the MOTB is. All right. And see, these men are just set up to cause confusion. You know, all they can do is say what it ain't. Okay. And while this is happening in real time, it's getting harder for them to make sense of what's happening. Okay. And while this man is building a digital prison, a global digital prison, okay, in the earth. Okay, and this is the explanation you got for what this man is doing real time. Okay, so let's just deal with what is, man. All right. So first, let's let's go here. Okay, because he said we already got the mark. So let's get a precept real quick. All right. He said we already got it. Well, God damn. So who? So how can there be anyone with a victory over the mark? Okay. First of all, let's go here. And like I said, if we mark, we said we're done. You see, this is Revelation 14:9. It says, then another angel, all right. It said, then another angel, a third one followed them, saying with a loud voice, whoever worshiped the beast and his image and received the mark of the beast on his forehead or in his hand. Okay, so if you receive this mark, okay, in your forehead or your hand, okay, what's the outcome of it? He too will have to drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High. Okay, it says, man. So you read this footnote, says in ancient times it was customary to mix wine with an equal or larger quantity of water to prevent intoxication at ordinary meals. Where the mixing is ironic, I say here the mixing is ironic because the wine of wrath is to be consumed at full strength. Because this is the biggest act of betrayal. If you take this mark, if you take this device, if you merge yourself with this device, you're merging yourself, all right, with an infrastructure of rebellion, man. Okay, a digital tower of Babel. Okay, this is a major thing that you will join yourself to if you take this man's MOTB, man, the Charagma, which is the RFID microchip. Okay, which is going to link you to a new system. All right, a new level of rebellion to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. And that's why it's going to be a judgment without mixture, the full strength. It says, mix undiluted into the cup of his anger, and he will be tormented with fire and brimstone, okay, in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb Yahweh Shai. Okay, so those chariots are what going to be hovering over the atmosphere while America is on fire. Okay, and Jake, okay, that took the sea hill, that take that corral and that MOTB, okay, they're going to be in it. But if you already got the MOTB, that's why I say if we already have the mark, what's the point? Okay, what is the point, man? Okay, Revelation 15 and 2. I started one. It says, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, seven angels having the seven last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath, okay, of the Most High. You see that? And that last plague, the nukes, man, and the chariots. Okay? Those nukes, that's going to be the headline, man. Okay? Along with the chariots, beginning with Yahweh Shai, man, who's coming in the anger of the Father. Okay? And it says, and I saw as it were, all right, sea of glass mingled with fire. You see? Because you're going to have those that took the mark, they're going to be in that fire. All right? And those that didn't take it, the Israelites that didn't take it, okay, of the elect, okay, it says, and I saw as it was sea of glass mingled with fire. Okay, and that's the chariot view of America on fire, from the atmosphere, man. It says, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass having the harps of the Most High. So who's going to be, all right, this remnant that has the victory over the beast? They don't take his mark. They don't worship his image. Okay, who is that going to be? Revelation the 20th chapter. Who Who is going to be victorious over this mark? Revelation 20, okay, and 20 says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark, upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. So who are these men that have not received, okay, the mark? Who's going to fulfill that? If we all got it because we buy and sell right now, okay, who are these men that didn't receive it? And then the ones that refused would be beheaded. So where are the men that have been beheaded? If we have the mark now, there should be Israelites that have been beheaded. Okay, see, when you lie, you sound stupid. If you're lying and you keep lying and the truth is becoming more evident, your lie sounds dumber by the day. Okay, now you're just going to sound like a jackass, man. Okay, so I got another quick video I want to get into, man. Let's go from there. Let's get this. Just a quick snippet I want to play. So let's play this. Okay. Because at the end of the day, Esau's rolling a new system out. And for order for, okay, this new system to be effective, well, people are going to have to take on, okay, digital identification. Okay, and we know the digital ID, all right, is just a stepping stone to the MOTB, or he can skip past it and get straight to the MOTB. Okay, things are still playing out, all right, but there's been a lot of talks about the digital ID, because the digital ID will just be a way to onboard you to this digital system. Okay, see, China, they have a social credit score and they're running it off of a digital ID. You see, so digital ID will just to be on board you to this digital public infrastructure. Okay, and then the digital ID will go from, because the phone is going to eventually turn into a microchip. And right now the digital ID is on your phone, which people are, they're one with their phone now. Okay, but to tighten down, okay, he's going to eventually make a RFID microchip mandatory. Okay, and your digital ID is going to be within that. Your wallet is going to be within that. Okay, your biometrics and everything. All right, all that's going to be in there. Okay, he's going to link you to all these data centers he's building. He's going to link you to all these surveillance cameras that he's going to set up. Okay, he's going to link you to a social credit system through his technology, man. Okay, so let's play this.
The entire UN 2030 agenda rests on one cornerstone: voluntary adoption of digital ID. As Whitney Webb, Camus writes, as Whitney Webb powerfully argues, they're investing billions to sell you on its convenience. They'll pitch it as the solution to illegal migration, voter fraud, and cybercrime.
Without it, the programmable surveillable money won't work. A lot of their designs for what they want to do in the online virtual world will not work. And so much of it will not work if we do not comply with digital ID, and they're trying to force it on us as a voluntary thing, sort of in the same way that vaccine passports were voluntary. Which is why I encourage people, if you want to change the direction the world is going, you need to figure out how you are going to set up your life so you don't have to comply with digital ID.
She said in order for what they want to do to work, you have to take on the digital ID. Okay? Because you're going to be plugged into, all right, a multi-trillion dollar infrastructure, man, that this devil is rolling out. Okay, so in order for this devil to play the most high, you're going to have to get on, all right, this digital grid. Okay, that's the only way this works. You see? That's the only way that this works, is that you, okay, are uploaded to this digital infrastructure. You see? So she said, hey, the only way this will work, okay, is if you take on the digital ID. And like I said, that digital ID, if they roll that out first, that's going to be to onboard you to this digital infrastructure, man. All right. And eventually the MOTB, which is an RFID microchip, is going to be made mandatory, man. Okay.
The same way, maybe if you were forced to comply with vaccine mandates and vaccine passports, how will you get around those type of restrictions when they try and impose, digital ID on people for various reasons? As I said earlier, before it was about, the vaccine and all of that. Now in the U.S., conservatives mainly are being pitched as this is a solution to illegal migration. This is a solution to voter fraud and all of this stuff. There's efforts to frame biometric digital ID as essential to solving cybercrime and hacking and cyberbullying and any other normal of essentially any ill of society. They're just going to say digital ID is going to be the solution to that. And their sales pitches. But ultimately, if we, the digital ID is essential to the whole idea of the social credit score and any of these other, Orwellian designs that, at least enough people, I hope, know by now.
So this technology, okay, digital ID, and ultimately the RFID microchip is essential, okay, in this new system that the devil is rolling out. You can't get around it. This is what he's doing real time. Okay, you can't get around what this devil is doing real time. Okay, let's go here. I got another. Let's go down a little more. I think like the 17 minute. Okay, let's play this. You got to deal with what's happening in real time, man. Okay, sitting in your car, all right, answering calls and winging it. See, they ain't gonna get it no more. Okay, let's play this.
Of the ultimate centralization of control in the hand.
Economic, agricultural, digital, and human. And Canada is the model. The question is, will the rest of the world wake up before the model goes global? So this is the video, Jim Ferguson, a 3-minute trailer that everybody needs to see. Let's watch.
Potentially.
The lust to control other human beings is a story as old as time. There's a very strong drift in the direction of globalization, of the ultimate centralization of control in the hands of unelected officials at supranational organizations.
They want all of the resources of the world in their pocket.
The bigger picture is that an attempt is underway now to collapse liberal democracy and replace it with global technocracy.
This is a coup. They're saying we can control with rules. We don't need currency anymore.
It's like an inverted prison. You are supposedly free to roam about, but everything you want to access is behind lock and key.
The potential for social control is gigantic and potentially irreversible.
If you saw the news, but Fox News is claiming President Trump is declining in the polls. And President Trump responded.
They plan to commandeer land, reduce farming, and radically change the food we eat, transform the supply of electricity, and then dictate how we use it, and replace currency with a system of credits. All three strategies. built on the premise of a climate crisis caused by carbon dioxide.
I do not think there's a climate crisis, and I base that on all the evidence and the climate data sets that we build to answer questions just like that. The government is very clear that they want a catastrophic story.
There is no single science paper that proves conclusively that humans control all or most of the global climate.
Europe's mad dash towards net zero is effectively economic suicide. Politicians are purposely impoverishing ordinary people, purposely deindustrializing Europe.
It's just tremendous amount of damage in the name of saving the planet. It does make you ask, what is it we're actually saving if we're paving it over?
I think what we're dealing with here is actually a global war on agriculture.
When you look at how many farms are selling up, we're walking into food shortages.
If I can switch everybody from real food to pharma food, then 100% of the agriculture industry can go through my publicly traded stocks, and I have complete control.
This is the biggest public relations scam in the history of the world. But it's far more than that. It's a blueprint. It is the action plan.
All life on Earth is going to be radically changed.
Everything will be monitored. The environmental consequences of every human action.
The general population cannot fathom the psychopathy of the vision that they're facing.
Once the digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity.
The agenda.
Yeah, man, this is what these devils are on real time, man. You know, and they're getting more, direct. Okay, they're rolling out a whole new system. Okay, and you're going to be given, opportunity to decline the MOTB or to take it. Okay, that's why you have in prophecy some that didn't and some that did, and most are going to. But you have a remnant that's predestined to have the victory. And see, that's another thing. No one's talking about being predestined to have the victory over this beast system. You see, Jake just want to argue and figure it out. Which Jake is being paid to push confusion. Okay, would you people following these men because it's a smooth doctrine. Okay, it's a feel-good doctrine. Okay, it feels good to the flesh. Okay, but nah, man. There's a remnant that has a victory over the beast, man, and we believe that. Okay, so we see this devil rolling this thing out. We know what time we in, man, and we know the spirit is on us to be in a particular mindset. Okay, and these devils are getting more and more bold, telling you what they're going to do. So let's play this real quick.
Our world. Listen.
Poverty ends. The second scenario is the giant leap. We wanted to identify a small set of actions, a minimum viable product, to reach as many sustainable development goals in Europe's vision of a social and green region. We wanted to take a systems approach to explore if we can achieve an acceptable level of well-being for the global majority on a finite planet. We conclude that nothing less than the following 5 extraordinary turnarounds are needed to have well-being for all while respecting planetary boundaries. Ending poverty, addressing gross inequality, achieving full gender equity, transforming the food system and the way we eat, transitioning to clean energy and efficient energy. We argue that these 5 extraordinary turnarounds and the set of economic reforms that will drive them form the basis of a well-being economy. It is not a blueprint, but more of a guide for systemic transformation. In this scenario, poverty ends a generation earlier than too little too late. We see gender empowerment in 1 generation, not 10. We see a switch to healthier plant-based diets. There is still meat consumption, but at sustainable levels. And we have carbon dioxide emissions every decade to reach net zero by 2050. The economic model everywhere is circular, regenerative, and efficient. Material consumption of unsustainable resources is reined in, fossil energy phased out, and we see a significant redistribution of wealth.
And they're selling you a new world order as a utopia. The end of poverty, Okay, significant redistribution of wealth. Okay, and she's gonna go into the UBI. This is what they're pitching, and in order to be included in these things that they're promising, you're gonna have to take a MOTB. They're changing the whole system. Okay, these doubles are changing the whole system, not only just buying and selling. Okay, but social credit score. Okay, there will be no more private forms. As you said, the way that you eat. Okay, they want to 3D print food. Okay, no more private gardens and these. No, no, no. They want to change everything. Okay, they're scrapping the old world and rolling out something new. And to participate in this new world, you're going to have a device. And John the Revelator seen that device in Revelation 13 and 16, and he's seen it being made mandatory. He calls it all right, which is to make. Okay, so here they're pitching this as utopia, and it's a digital prison, man. Let's play this.
In this scenario, we introduce a universal basic dividend operating like a universal basic income, with dividends coming to all people, sharing the wealth of the global commons and public goods. Who's taking the wealth now? It is not properly redistributed. This is not utopic. This is what is fair and just and what a society in transformation is all about. Why do we think this is important? We know the giant leap will be disruptive. We're talking about a complete shakeup. This is everything, everywhere, all at once. It will create shocks. But if it is to succeed, then we must bring the majority of people along the journey. The second scenario is the giant leap. We wanted to identify a small set of actions, a minimum.
They are saying it out loud with no shame, projecting their agenda on the global stage. The UN doesn't want to save the planet, it wants to run it. Agenda 2030 equals global rules and local obedience. Agenda 2030 incoming. Push back while you can. One world government, end of nations, one world army, one world police force.
UN Agenda 2030 mission goals. Okay, this is the digital beast system being rolled out. Okay, and you just look at it: one world government, end of nations, one world army. To fight who? If it's one army, who you niggas fight? You see, they plan on fighting Habashai. You see, it says one world police force, end of family union, and a lot of this gonna be, AI, end of the family unit, which whatever remaining of the family union, they want to do away with. This is Satan. This is a system of Satan. One world central bank. Okay, so it's gonna be a new way of buying and selling. You're not buying and selling with a one world central bank. You're not buying and selling with a central bank digital currency. We're not buying and selling with that. You're going to have the mark to participate in it. Okay, one world cashless currency, the CBDC, end of all private property. Okay, going to so why the scripture tell us, hey, either buy, he don't make a profit. Okay, either have this and that. Hey, the way Howard Shot say, whatever you lose on this side, I'm gonna give it back to you 100-fold, man. We're not gonna be able to have these things. You're gonna have the mark to participate in these things, man. Okay, world depopulation and fertility control, end of home and car ownership, mandatory multiple, juices yearly, universal austerity income. Okay, social media, digital ID, microchip for health, shopping, and travel, man. Okay, this is what's happening in real time. Okay, and in order to be plugged into this system, All right. You're gonna have to have the device, man. Okay. So let's go. Let's end it here, man. Let's end it here. I want to get this real quick because the brother sent me this while I was doing this lesson. I know he just sent me this a few minutes ago. All right, so there's a quick AI overview. It says a digital prison refers to system using technology for persuasive surveillance and control, confining individuals digitally through constant monitoring, GPS, biometrics, data tracking, rather than physical bars, impacting freedom of privacy and extending traditional incarceration, all right, incarceration, Salakia. All right, traditional incarceration, Salakia. All right, to incarceration, which is electric, or creating societal control like China's social credit system, which we've been going over this, man. Okay, it is an invisible form. All right, let's go down. It is an invisible form of control where data profiles, algorithms, and digital identities limit choices, actions, turning homes or societies into controlled environments, man. Okay, and to make this work, you have to be linked to this grid, and you have to need a device in you. It may start with the phone, but eventually it's going to be in you. Okay, this is what's happening, man. Okay, this is just what's happening, man. You can't deny and say this is not what the devil is doing. And how would this not be talked about in the Bible? How would this not be a major thing in the Bible? Okay, like it's just something light, man. Okay, so let's go here to let's go to Sirach. All right, 39. Yep. Sirach 39:24. We can end it here. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. Okay, and the scriptures say how Shah is going to be all right for the rise and fall of many in Israel. All right, the elect gonna rise and the rest gonna fall, man. And that just is what it is. Okay, so Lord will you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Kapadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.